What's up guys, that guy with the pencil here, and it is time. We must get ready to discuss the powerful and the peerless, the mindful and the merciless, the deadliest and mightiest sin of boundless wrath, Meliodas. Meliodas is a man, or a demon, of many forms, incarnations, and levels of power. To start with, Meliodas actually tears through the entire beginning of the series. Seriously, first appearance, he gets pulled up on by Twigo and absolutely slaps him, easily. Then he pulls up on Bernia, easily yanks out Gilthunder's sword, then gets a spear thrown at him by Gilthunder, he easily catches it, turns around, throws it right back at Gilthunder, and destroys his entire fortress. Then Gilthunder finally pulls up on him in the Forest of White Dreams, only for Meliodas to outplay Gilthunder, after taking a serious hit. However, once he's taken to a doctor for his wound, with his sheer demonic presence alone, he scares off a true Holy Knight. Then, afterwards, he proceeds to fight well against Diane, who he thought was Ruin, only to move on to casually dominate the Holy Knight Ruin with complete ease. Then he meets up with Bond and the two just slap each other around for fun. Then, they annihilate Bond's Stay Dungeon. However, Meliodas does not stop there, fighting and dealing the finishing counter to Gila. Then he slaps Greedmore, pulls up on the Vizel Fight Festival, gets all his power stolen by Bond, only to bounce right back with Demon Mark and dominate Physical Hunt Bond. Then he easily handles Kane, fights on par with Diane, and appears to lose to Gila. However, he gets back up later and ends up being sealed by the Goddess Amber. However, in return, due to Elizabeth's cries, he enters his Berserk state, breaking through his containment. Then he blitzes Gila, removes her arm, slaps Bond, and proceeds to pull up on Helbram. Now, Helbram is an interesting case, because he's not just fighting Helbram, but he's actually fighting 20 Holy Knights plus Helbram, which Meliodas actually keeps up with rather fine despite losing his mind in his main abilities. But then, Henderson steps in and helps Helbram defeat Meliodas by empowering him some more. Then, just to add more into the pile, Meliodas is shown to get massively stronger when actually wielding a sword, as he goes from being able to barely damage Demonic Dale to killing him easily. Then Meliodas goes on to slap the entire order of Holy Knights within the Kingdom of Ilionis, and actually ends up running into Hendrickson and Gilthunder, who he proceeds to fight at the same time the moment Arthur drops out of the fight, and he proceeds to do very well despite most likely holding back since he's not really even focusing on the fight and trying to help Gilthunder out. Then he gets triple teamed by Gilthunder, Hendrickson, and Vivian all at once, only to fight all three of them while not even truly focusing on the fight still, as he's looking for the beast holding Margaret hostage, which he then destroys and he gets Gilthunder to come to his side. However, Hendrickson lives, Meliodas gets stabbed in the chest by a transformed Hendrickson, he proceeds to walk it off, fight Bond again, only for that fight to not reach a proper conclusion. Then, this leads to Meliodas pulling right back up on Red Demon Blood and Hendrickson and destroying him so badly alongside Bond that Hendrickson is forced to amp himself again with Grey Demon Blood. After eating multiple attacks from Hendrickson while weakened, Meliodas gets a quick heal up and proceeds to fight Grey Demon Blood and Hendrickson one-on-one, taking attacks from an entire army of Holy Knights, including his fellow Sins, only to store it all, double the power, and defeat Hendrickson. Then, Meliodas slaps the ghetto. However, then an Albion pulls up and we get introduced to Lost Vein, now which it increases Meliodas' raw power, or just allows him access to it, as he goes from breaking his gift sword because it's too powerful to tearing through the Albion like butter with just air. Then he defeats the Albion with full counter. Finally, Galen rolls up and slaps everyone, including a pseudo-berserk Meliodas. Meliodas, unhappy with the fact that he's fought as someone he could slap with his eyes closed 3,000 years back, goes and ends his beginning of series self by restoring his old strength, which was stolen by Merlin 10 years back. Then he pulls right back up on Galen, easily blitzes and beats him around so badly that it almost causes Galen to lie and forces the commandments to scatter. Meliodas rolls up to the fight festival with Gloxinia and Droll, accidentally slays some blue demons, and we get post-Druid Meliodas' first series fight. Even in base, he removes Droll's other two arms before Droll can react. Then he gets slapped by Gloxinia. Actually, open palm slap, only to rise back up in Demon Mark, and he proceeds to dominate the other two mid-tier commandments all on his own, only for Gloxinia and Droll to imply that despite needing to kill them, he is still holding back. Then, Meliodas gets ganged up on by the rest of the 10 commandments, and the only good feat he really has here is slitting Monspeak's throat and taking enough damage to kill most of the commandments with revenge counter, only to be stopped by Estarossa. Then Meliodas dies, ending his post-Druid run. Quick mention of Meliodas' past prime self, he has the commandment of love, gets pulled upon, and forces Mael to retreat, and kills 2 commandments, beat another with Droll and Gloxinia, and was considered the strongest demon outside his father. Back in the present, post-resurrection Meliodas pops up, and to say the least, he's pretty much has an entire field day with the whole series for a long while. Dereri, a person able to push and release damage post-Druid Demon Mark Meliodas, gets toyed with, and Monspeak and her nearly die to a full counter. Then he outdoes Fraudulent with a clone, and kills him. Now he gets outplayed by Melascula and gets trapped, only for a good 5 seconds to pass before releasing his darkness, and we get Assault Mode Meliodas, who then proceeds to continue to have a field day with the series, freshly awoken and only growing progressively stronger with time, slapping Escanor, the previous strongest Sin, recovering after getting off-guarded by the One, stealing Elizabeth, fading Cusack, slapping both Zeldris and Estarossa at the same time, easily just existing above Arthur, and before he can truly slap anyone else, he goes into a commandment coma. However, this Meliodas is the one without his soul. Meliodas' soul gets woken up by Bond and proceeds to do battle with the Demon King in his Purgatory True Body for 60 years straight. Then he activates his true magic, escapes the Demon King by annihilating the Demon King's entire arm. He gets restored by everyone, and now we get True Magic Meliodas. Everything is fine, but then when trouble stirs, base True Magic Meliodas pulls up and actually slaps the Demon King's Lepus' body. Then the Demon King transforms, and gets slapped again by Demon Mark Meliodas. Then the Demon King is restored to true power, but it doesn't matter to Meliodas as he just goes Assault Mode and destroys the Demon King with the rest of the Sins. He's too fatigued to be useful against Chaos Cath, and the series ends. Now, I streamlined a lot of that, mainly because if I didn't, we'd be here for 3 hours. Now, let's discuss Meliodas and his pure power. There are 4 main Meliodases, technically 6, but I'll get into that. 1. Beginning of series Meliodas. 2. Post-Druid / 10 years past Meliodas. 3. Post-Resurrection / Prime Meliodas with an asterisk. Then 4. True Magic Meliodas. There are a lot of sub-versions due to Meliodas' many transformations and special quirks of said transformations. For beginning of series Meliodas, in base with Lost Vein, since that's the one we use for versus battles the most, he's mountain level. His skills directly to characters like Diane and King, who have their own mountain level feats such as destroying an Albion, to large mountain level feats such as creating a floating mountain and slamming it down. And he sliced apart a mountain level Albion with just Air Slasher from Lost Vein, and in weaker states he was eating attacks from Grey Demon Hendrickson, who is equivalent to Albion's. For his speed, when simply put with on-panel stuff, he's massively hypersonic and a lightning timer, easily in a weaker state. Given some respect, he's actually around 1.4 times the speed of light, taking into account the Sacred Treasure multipliers and Helblum Link multipliers and how that scales to Hendrickson. Full credit to Cyber Bully Tay for those ideas, I did not come up with that. Taizai and its various speeds will be addressed in another video. I'm just telling you where Meliodas goes pure power and speed wise in this video. For Demon Mark, double his stats. He beat Bond, who absorbed all of Meliodas' physical stats and stacked them on top of his own, all in one punch. This puts him at twice mountain level and lightning speed pretty easily, and 2.8 times light speed. Once again, I will explain all of this in another video, and once again, full credit to Cyber Bully Tay. For Berserk, he's likely 80 times stronger than his base self by scaling directly to Link Helblum, so do what you will with a mountain level character multiplied by 80 times his base strength. For his speed, with regular scaling, 80 times lightning speed, and in the multiplier meta, around 112 times the speed of light with Lost Vein and Berserk. For Post-Druid in base, likely country level and at least light speed in regular scaling, and 112 times the speed of light in the multiplier meta, due to him scaling above his Berserk self with Lost Vein by beating Gallon with no Lost Vein, while Gallon could fight country level Tarmiel, who uses Arc Beams, which are light beams. Then, with Lost Vein, 3,360 times the speed of light. For Demon Mark, double his stats again, so going deeper into the country level tier, and twice light speed normally scaled, and around 6,720 times the speed of light in the multiplier meta. Then, here's the asterisk. This Meliodas is the same Meliodas of 10 years past, which means he has access to Assault Mode. Now, the multiplier for Assault Mode has always been debated, it's very, very contentious, but I'll just give you this take right here. Many people, myself included, believe that Assault Mode is the unsealed Meliodas' version of Berserk. Basically, because they are both activated the same way, they both cover Meliodas in darkness, and they are both known to be the limit of Meliodas' demonic powers, and they both tend to make Meliodas stronger once they are activated, continuously stronger, not just locked in one state. So, for now, I'll say a simple 80 times multiplier. If that were the case, he'd be large country level quite easily, approaching Continental along with 80 times light speed regularly scaled, and 268,880 times the speed of light in the multiplier meta. Leaping to Post-Resurrection, he's easily country level, as in base, he scales above his Demon Mark Post-Druid self, and that means he's around twice light speed normally scaled, and 6,720 times the speed of light, all in base, in the multiplier meta. Double the stats for Demon Mark, so likely large country level to Continental, and 4 times light speed normally scaled, and 13,440 times the speed of light in the multiplier meta. For Assault Mode, we get to the 80 times multiplier, and then that means 537,600 times the speed of light, and easily Continental in the multiplier meta, and Continental and 160 times the speed of light normally scaled. Then, for True Magic base Meliodas with no Lost Vein, he is easily at least continental 160 times / 537,600 times the speed of light in both meta as a low ball, considering he scales drastically above his post-resurrection / prime assault mode self by fighting the Demon King in Zeldris' body. Then multiply that by 30 for Lost Vein, which is 4,800 times in the regular meta and 1,618,000 times light speed in the multiplier meta and approaches multi-continental. Then double that for Demon Mark, so likely multi-continental and 9,600 / 32 million times the speed of light. Then smack the assault mode multiplier on top of that, and it's likely over 384,000 times the speed of light in the regular meta and around 1 billion times the speed of light, likely approaching moon level with Lost Vein in the multiplier meta. Then you have the true magic form itself, which is a multiplier beyond assault mode, but we don't have a reference for it, so it's likely that he's moon level and once again massively faster than light in both speed metas. Then, once again, thank you so much for Cyberbully Tay for creating the multiplier meta. That is entirely their own creation. If you want to see all their scaling and stuff for it, which I will explain in a separate video for Taizai's speed, it is in the Gloxinia video in the comment section. Go check it out. Super important. I didn't even mention the lore-based meta and regular scaling, so I'll do it here. Meliodas from post-druid and onward would be multi-planetary bare minimum, with the lore scaling by scaling to solid portions of the Supreme Deity and the Demon King, who are Dwarf Star level and higher depending on how you want to scale them with the lore. By true magic, he scales around Dwarf Star level to possibly solar system at his peak. Once again, the potential power of Taizai will be explained in a later video, just like the potential speed of Taizai will be explained in another video. However, that is all of Meliodas' pure power. What else makes Meliodas so dangerous? Well, he's a demon, which gives him a simple set of abilities. He can manipulate dark matter to form constructs, shields, and weapons, and just form massive pillars of darkness to destroy things. He can regenerate, he can use it to fly, and he can steal a person's soul by touching them. He also has strong enough telepathy and mental resistance to break out of illusions set up by Chaos Cat, resist Girl's magic eye and Gloxinia's heart reading, and communicate with another person. He can also pierce through possession, such as what he did with Dreyfus and Fraudrin, but Fraudrin quickly regained control. He can also seal people by using the power of darkness. Then, for Meliodas specifically, he primarily uses full counter. Now what this does is take whatever magic attack that's fired at him and reflects it back with more than twice the power. However, it's not that simple. It can also reflect back anything that contains magic that is directed as an attack, such as a sword. Then it can also reflect an indirect or invisible attack, such as status promotion from King, being full counter just because it was magic, despite having no visible presence. It is said not to work on ordinary punches, but that implies it could work on any punch or attack that is infused with magic. Then Meliodas can make a magic attack disappear with Counter Vanish, which destroys instead of reflecting. Then he has Revenge Counter, where Meliodas just eats the damage and turns around and takes that doubled combined power and returns it to whoever gave it to him. However, he does not stop there, with his access to the Hellblaze, the dark form of the Demon Clan that will not be put out and negates the regeneration of Immortals, which he can coat his sword or fist with and does fire it out. Then he can use Trillion Dark, where he compresses darkness and fires it out everywhere at an opponent to tear them apart. Finally, with Lost Vein, he's able to create clones of himself, although each clone only shares about half of his power. However, they appear to maintain the same reaction speed as the original, as in every instance they are used, they are able to react in tandem. Those are all his abilities and all his numeric power. Now, where does Meliodas stand with all his versions within the series itself? Well, at the beginning of the series, a full power Meliodas stands firm as the strongest of the Saints introduced, excluding Escanor. With Lost Vein and Berserk, he'd be able to easily dominate all his competition, including beings like a full power King, as he has better feats than him even in base, considering he destroyed an Albion with Lost Vein and no Demon Mark, while it took King his full strength to do the same thing. For mid-series, also known as post-Druid incarnation, he is the second strongest Sin. He is still easily above the rest of his fellow Sins, except for Escanor of the time that exists concurrently with post-Druid Meliodas. Escanor fought and took kids from assault mode post-resurrection Meliodas, and off-guarded and one-shot that same Meliodas with the 1. Meliodas cannot defeat him. Meliodas in this incarnation also stands above the bottom 5 of the commandment if we restrict his assault mode, but giving it to him, he's likely only stopped by Zeldris and Estarossa, though it's likely that he could match Estarossa, it's just that the commandment would hamper Meliodas. For Prime Meliodas, easily the third strongest of his time at full power, standing above all 4 Archangels, the rest of the commandment, stronger than all the Sins before the end of the series, and is overall just a monster. for his post-resurrection form. At full power, he is the strongest sin, stronger than all the commandments, and is only inferior to end-of-series characters like Full Wings King, Post-Purgatory Bond, Final Shine Escanor, and the full power Demon King Meliodas' body, along with the supreme deity Chaos, Chaos Kath, and Chaos Arthur. However, to finish with the full power true magic Meliodas, he is number 4 in the entire series, if not number 3 pure power wise. He's beyond the supreme deity and the Demon King. They're the 2 strongest beings in the verse up until Chaos itself. I'd say number 4 if not number 3 in raw power, due to the fact that he sacrificed his true power to destroy the Demon King before he could truly attack post-Chaos Kath with it. And in an alternate timeline, Kath implied that a future Meliodas with just Demon Mark could reasonably pull up on a Chaos Kath alone, and that Meliodas and the Sins could hold off Kath with Meliodas in his base. The whole reason I would put Chaos Kath above Meliodas, even in his true magic form, is Meliodas' inability to kill Kath. Kath's healing is directly compared to Bond's immortality, but Merlin dismisses the notion and claims that Chaos Kath surpasses life and death itself, and Meliodas doesn't really have an answer to that. In terms of pure power, it's likely Meliodas at his true honest peak with true magic and Lost Vein is stronger than Chaos Kath, but Chaos Kath will win the fight due to his inability to die. Then, Chaos is the one who forced the mortal enemies, the Supreme Deity and the Demon King, to work together in order to seal Chaos, not even destroy it, and while Meliodas is stated to surpass the Demon King and Supreme Deity, it is not known by how much, so I will say Chaos is stronger. Then, Arthur contains Chaos in all its power, so he is also stronger. Meliodas is a beast almost beyond comparison in the entirety of 7 Deadly Sins. Meliodas is honestly fantastic, easily one of my favorite modern main protagonists, and it has to be because of how he deals with his suffering within the world of 7 Deadly Sins. A ruthless demon who grew to love, only for that love to be from the enemy, and only for that first love to cost him his family, his people, and eventually his life, and the love that changed him in the first place. Rather than give up everything and fall into despair, he took that pain and did something with it. He worked to keep the world safe, to honor his original lover, and worked to improve the lives of all he interacted with. His goal was one that worked to the benefit of himself and all he worked with, and that is amazing. It's fantastic how he brought together the 7 Deadly Sins to protect people, fulfill his goal, and give those 6 lost souls a purpose, a home, and a family. Even in the face of betrayal from all he cares about, he forgives and moves on when many others would not. All that in combination is what makes Meliodas so great, and of course his legendary battles only serve to enhance that. Meliodas may have had a boundless wrath, but he also had a bottomless heart. It's here. It's done. Big ups to Cyberboy Tate for the new meta. You've been here for a minute. I'm out. I hope you guys enjoyed the video. I hope I served up what y'all were looking for, and I hope you guys have a wonderful day. This is That Guy with the Pencil, writing off.